We're about to dive into one of the most serious questions a person can ever face. We're going to look at life not just as a journey, but as a kind of great spiritual accounting, a final reckoning of what's truly gained and what is tragically lost.
This is it. This is the question that cuts through all the noise. What good is anything else if the final balance sheet of your existence shows a total loss? To really get this, think of yourself as running two different businesses at the same time. The first one is the body's shop. It's busy for sure, but it only deals in temporary stuff, earthly things. But then there's the second business, the soul's shop. And this one, well, its stakes are infinitely higher. It doesn't trade in small things. Its business is with eternity itself.
So let's start our audit on the first side of the ledger. What does it even mean to gain the whole world? Let's try and calculate that supposed profit.
Okay, let's start with a world of absolute power. And who better to imagine than Alexander the Great? I mean, this guy had it all. Invincible armies, a will that was literally the law, and territories that stretched beyond what anyone thought was possible. He was the definition of power. But here's the real question. Does that kind of power actually deliver what you think it will? Is the scepter of a king really a wand of happiness? Does wearing a crown actually guarantee you a life of joy?
And the answer is a resounding no. Alexander, the man who had the entire world at his feet, wept. He wept because there were no more worlds left to conquer. See, the pursuit of power isn't a gain at all. It just creates this unquenchable thirst for more, a path that leads straight to misery.
So power doesn't satisfy. What about a world of riches? Let's turn to our next case, Croesus. His name was basically a synonym for wealth. His gold and silver couldn't even be counted. His treasures were without number. The man could buy empires.
But here's the thing about great wealth. It's not a prize. It's a burden. You're just carrying it, like a donkey loaded down with gold, for a very short journey. And then at the end, death simply unloads you. A heavy heart can ride in the most expensive carriage in the world.
All right, so power and riches have failed the test. What about our final case, a world of pure pleasure? King Solomon had everything. The finest music, the greatest food, every single pleasure the mind and body could possibly desire. He literally ransacked the world looking for joy.
And after experiencing every joy you could possibly imagine, what was his final word on it all? This: vanity of vanities, all is vanity. Just an empty, hollow pursuit that leads absolutely nowhere. The chase for pleasure, even when you catch it all, ends in this profound, echoing disappointment. So gaining the world, whether you try to do it through power or riches or pleasure, it's just like chasing a beautiful butterfly. The chase is thrilling, sure, but the very moment you grasp it, the beauty is gone. It's nothing but a disappointment.
Okay, now we have to pivot. We've audited the so-called gains. Now we have to turn to the other side of the ledger. And the tone here shifts completely, because we're not talking about disappointment anymore. We are now calculating the immense, terrifying gravity of losing the soul.
We're going to assess this loss in 3 clear steps, just to understand the full weight of it. First, what the soul is actually worth. Second, the potential it holds. And third, the absolute, irreversible finality of its doom if it's lost. So, what gives the soul its value? Well, first, it's made in the very image of God. It's an immortal, everlasting thing. It's so precious that both God and the devil are contending for it. And its ultimate value? Well, that's sealed by the price that was paid for it, the blood of Christ. Its worth is simply incalculable. This is what is on the line. When a soul is saved, it gains a crown, a throne, a harp, an entire eternity of joy in heaven. But when the soul is lost, what's forfeited? Not just one of those things. No, it's everything, absolutely everything. And this leads us to the final, unavoidable consequence. Because once a soul is lost, there is a destination, a place where that ultimate price is paid for all eternity. And that place is one of pure, unimaginable horror, a place of murky darkness, lit only by flames of wrath, a place where the only sound is a symphony of pure agony, howling, groaning, wailing. This is the final, terrible destination for a soul that has been lost. Now look, these are vast cosmic ideas. I get it. But this isn't abstract. Now we have to bring this calculation down to a tangible, deeply personal level, right down to you. For how much do people really sell their souls? For a world of riches? An empire? Sometimes. It's for something as trivial as half a crown. The price can be shockingly, pathetically small. a little extra profit on a deal, a slightly better job. For these tiny things, people trade away eternity. And this is the cry of a man who suddenly realized the horror of the bargain he made. The second the true value of the soul becomes clear, the desperation is absolute. There is this sudden, terrifying understanding that without prayer, without that connection to God, he is utterly and completely lost.
So we end right where we began, with that question turned directly to you. Forget Alexander, forget Croesus, and forget Solomon. Look at your own ledger. When all is said and done, when the final accounting is made for your life, what will your balance sheet show? What is your final balance?